Welcome back to the channel. This your boy Deontay. I'm back with another live stream. For anybody that's here, you want to go ahead and tap the like button, tap the like. I'm back with my cousin Merge Vision. Make sure y'all go ahead and tap into his YouTube channel, Merge Vision. Tap into my YouTube channel, the Deontay L Show. What's going on, Cuzzo?
Not much, Cuzzo. Living a life, you know.
Yes, sir. So, man, we're gonna be talking about a lot tonight, a lot to unpack here. I've been doing a series lately about women and their exit strategies, how a lot of ladies will plan to leave their man. They man will have no clue about what's going on, right? They'll go about with their day-to-day routine, day-to-day schedule, and then all of a sudden decide, they wake up one day out of the blue and say, oh, I'm unhappy. I wanted to discover myself. I want to go on this new journey. I want to embark on this new journey and live my life for me. I'm trying to break free from the chains of captivity and start living for me. And the man will have no clue about what's really going on. And he just left out in the cold, and he wake up to an empty apartment, or he see his woman leaving on a Ring door camera. You feel me? He come home and be like, what happened? And then she up and left on Ring door camera now. Yeah, I was looking at a clip here recently with this lady that did this, man. I'm just looking like, wow. She decided that she was ready to up and leave, and I want to get your take on this video, man. It's crazy, bro.
Let's get into it.
I didn't just wake up one day. I knew I was getting ready to leave. I had already planned an exit strategy.
Oh, wow. Okay, hold up. How long before you took the exit was your exit strategy in place?
Oh, man, it was already a few months. I already knew.
Oh, really?
I'd already started shifting.
Bank accounts.
I already get attacked on the internet. I had already started shifting everything that I needed to shift.
What was the dynamic in the house between you two? Was he still waking up, hey babe, have a good day, kiss on the cheek, whatever? Or was it?
I still did that. I still did my part.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Listen, the day he had to leave, I cooked breakfast in bed.
Oh, you're toxic. Hold on. We need to talk about toxicity here. Hold up. What? Where was the communication that women want? Where was all?
Listen, I was still doing, as a wife, I was still doing what I was supposed to do as a wife. And so, yeah, the dynamics in the house.
Oh my. You made him his last meal.
His last meal, the day he had to go.
What's your take on this, man? Like, this is disturbing. It's mind-boggling to me how a woman can just wake up out of the blue, out of nowhere, and decide she don't want the relationship, she don't want the marriage no more. She don't care about if y'all got kids. She don't care about what y'all done built. She don't care if y'all done built companies together. If she wake up and decide, I've graduated from my marriage, I've graduated from this relationship, I'm ready to move forward with my life, I'm ready to break free and live for me, but leave the man hanging. And what's disturbing about this situation is that she will have co-signing friends backing her up. I'm talking about the sisterhood, the black girl magic, the sister code, co-signing this behavior. And we'll be checking in on her to make sure, girl, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. It's finally time for you to start living for you, girl. But nobody checks on a man. Nobody checks to see if the man is okay. This man is in mourning. This man is in grieving. Nobody cares about how the man feels. If it was vice versa, right, and a man did this to his woman, he would be all types of bombs. He would be a disgrace. He would be the enemy of the world, just the scum of the earth. If a man did this to a woman, if a man just wake up out of the blue one day and decide, I don't want this marriage, I don't want this relationship, he would be all types of cowards, all types of deadbeats. It's a double standard, and it pisses me off with that people don't keep the same energy for women that they would do to a man.
And I mean, that's the way of the world, bro. You know, it's soft gloves for women and hard fists for men out here in this world. And as men, though, we just gotta be able to accept that shit, because ain't no changing that shit. Like, for whatever reason, females can get away with this, you know what I mean? And like you said, nobody ever checks on the man. The man's supposed to just pick up and, you know, start over. And at the same time, especially if they got kids, he supposed to pick up, start over, while at the same time maintaining a relationship with his kids, trying to deal with the heartbreak of losing the family and shit, trying to go to work every day, just trying to stay focused. Because when that type of stuff happen, man, you lose all type of focus on everything you're trying to accomplish. And then it's like, if that was the case, why didn't she say something earlier? Why she ain't like get his brother some time? You know what I mean? Why she ain't say like what was her problems, her issues? That was one thing. If a woman done said the problems to the man and it was going on for 3 to 6 months, the same issue, and he ain't try to make no corrections, no like for instance, if the thing that was really bothering her is the fact that he stay out every weekend with his boys and he ain't never spending time with her. And she make that known to him like this is an issue because I like spending time with you too. And he don't make no conscious effort to change it. I mean, I can see how something like that where you ain't spending time with your girl could be cause an issue, but not to a point where you leave the whole family, everything you building. But that man do, and vice versa, man and women got to hold themselves accountable to that person that they said they choosing to love. And but when women do this shit and just wake up out of the blue and just don't feel it no more, the fire ain't there no more. Yeah, hey, it's hard luck out here, man. That's why, man, we gotta do our vetting very, very well and understand the woman that we dealing with, because women can confuse you with that too, because they can show you all the markers of a good woman. But like I said, man, like we've been talking before, bro, when stability hits, when stability and routine hit, and you've been doing that for a year or two, whatever, y'all got a routine, y'all got stability, and it's just calm, no toxicity, nothing going on, y'all just living your life. It gets boring, man. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell us, man. It gets boring to the women. It don't get boring to us because, like I said, we able to protect everything because we know what's going on. So it's a comfort for us. But for a woman, they need some type of excitement. At least that's where I'm coming from on this, because that's all they ever talk about. I need to refine myself. But like I told you before, they need to find themselves. How did you get lost?
Good question.
How did you get lost?
Cook on that for a minute, man. Can you kind of deep dive into that for me? What does that look like and I got a female perspective in here. What's going on, Lena? I want to know what's
going on, fellas?
What's up? What does that look like when a woman says, I wake up, she wakes up one day and say, I'm on a self-healing journey. I'm trying to rediscover myself. I lost myself being in this relationship. I lost myself being a mother. I've lost myself taking care of my family. Now it's all about me. And they just up and leave the whole relationship dynamic and ruin their family, ruin everything for everybody. They would basically just ruin their whole situation, get out there back into the streets, and then find out that there's nothing else out there, then try to re-enter their husband life. And what does that look like to you, Lena?
So I think, me personally, I feel like if a woman say that they wake up and they trying to find themselves, I feel like that can actually go both ways, because sometimes we get lost. And when I say we, I mean we get lost in the midst of trying to be what we think our other person want us to be, or trying to fulfill the needs of everybody else. We can get lost with doing that. But if you got a woman that's got a child or something of the nature, they can get lost within themselves. Because when you a parent, whether you a man or a woman, you wear a lot of different hats. As a mother, you the wife, you the woman, you wear different hats. But the same thing goes as a male role. When you a man, you wear a lot of different hats. A lot of men step in a place of being a stepfather. A lot of men step in a place where women may be seeking their father and not even know that. A lot of men don't understand that men may be seeking their mother if they did not have that proper influence as well. So it could go both ways with that. They can be influential on both different ends. So when a woman say, "Oh, I got lost, I'm seeking myself," this, that, and the third. No, they been lost. They mentally just got the strength and they probably back spiritually in tune with themselves to say, okay, what am I doing here? How did I get here? I done did XYZ. I done did this, that, and the third. But like I said again, to me, that goes both ways. It's not a one-way street. So if a woman don't just wake up and say they gonna leave, they been going to leave. They been planning that. Because women plan what they gonna do. You got to know that. If a woman wake up one day and she tell you, oh, I'm leaving, I gotta find myself this, that, and the third, it's one because something didn't happen that didn't trigger her to leave, whether it's good or bad, or somebody else can be in the place. A man may not be giving her what she wants. And when I say giving her what she wants, that man may not be telling her like, oh, you beautiful. I like what you have on, just the smallest things. And that could get to her, especially when she put herself in a situation that another man can feed her ego. But then again, that goes both ways, right, fellas? Because if a man put themselves in a situation and they woman at home is not doing what she got to do, then you got another woman feeding this ego. It's not the fact that you want to get out there. It's the fact that you a human being. And everybody got needs that's got to be met. Whether that's you looking for that clarification, whether you looking for that individual to just say you look good, whatever the case may be. Whatever they're looking for out there, they may not be getting it at home. That's the problem.
Well, like I said, we don't see man coming up. We don't see man breaking up their families to go chase something en masse like we do with women. Like it's not the same. Because
I disagree.
Most man, yeah. We even if we ain't getting what we want at home, we have more of an ability to sacrifice our own happiness, long as the people that we taking care of are okay. We okay to a much greater degree than women to being unhappy. You know what I mean? We okay with it long as we know that the people we taking care of, they cool, they good. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, man want appreciation just like women. Man want to feel valued just like women, all those things. But I think we have more of a understanding that it's our place to try to make everybody okay that we responsible for. And I ain't saying women don't feel that same way, but it's like it's more in our nature as the protector of everybody that's under our umbrella. And like, we don't leave. It got to be something drastic for us to leave, like cheating on us or, violence in a relationship. We ain't leaving just because some outside thing showed up. Yeah, we probably smash some outside shit. That's for sure. I mean, some man will go out there and smash outside shit and get things from the outside. But most men, I ain't saying like we ain't talking in totality. We just talking in majority. I would say most men ain't gonna leave everything they building over here for some pussy or something. Don't get me wrong, they go out there and fuck something, but they not gonna leave because of that, unless some major happen in a relationship. But see, we never leave because of our feelings, though. We don't wake up. We don't leave because we like, I don't feel happy how this been going on, so I'm just going to divorce you because I'm not happy. You don't hear men say I'm gonna divorce you because I'm not happy. I mean, seriously.
But you don't. But let me elaborate on that, Brian.
Go ahead.
You say, would you say men won't leave? They'll go out here and smash something, but then most men will make sure their house is financially taken care of. That's 100% right. But women think with their feelings. A man does not think with their feelings, and that's one of the reasons why you get those type of results. Because a woman will think what they feeling. It's not a lot of women out. I'm a woman. I know how to separate, but it took me time to learn that. And see, if most, I'm gonna say most women, brown women. I'm gonna be specific, not being funny, but it's a lot of our households out here that do not have a male role in them. And when you got lack of that male role in your life, you don't understand what it really means to be loved. So you infatuated. Like these young girls, for instance, right? I'm gonna say back in the day, a boy can be like, "Oh, they thought they had the world because this ninja buying them gym shoes and socks." Y'all know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
We're taking them out to eat, or they driving around in the best cars, but that's nothing. Because the fact of the matter is, if they had a father in the household that was doing these things, then that wouldn't be the case. These young men wouldn't be able to turn their head that quick. So you got a lot of older women that are still living out those days because that is what they are used to, because the cycle wasn't broken. And if that cycle ain't broken, then you got their kids following them, you got their kids doing this. But if you got a male in the household that is present, that is instilling those morals and values, you probably won't get that. But at the same time, it goes back again. You can only teach a child to fish. If you continue to fish for that child, they ain't gonna know shit. That's the same thing as an adult woman. If you can't necessarily say all women. You understand what I'm saying?
It ain't in totality.
Because it's not a totality. But I hear what you're saying. But that's the same with a man, because it's not a lot of men out here that can take what they dish either, Brian.
This is true, man. I mean, because it's just different. Like, only thing you could be talking about when you're talking about man can't take away their dish is being infidelity. Because
no, I'm not just talking about that either. Sometimes when a woman chooses to break it off with a man say, okay, well, I don't want to be around you or them kids right now, because that man then starts to think with their feelings and not understanding that the woman gonna be like, you not hurting me, you hurting the kids. Or
but how she gonna say that, but she the one breaking up the family? That don't make sense.
If I'm telling you, if a woman is walking away, it's something that pulled her attention away, or she already was going to do it. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. A woman will walk away mentally from a relationship 6 to 8 months before they decide to physically walk away. Until let me give you a little secret. The last stage of a real woman is to be submissive. I don't care who you are. If they turn around, they become submissive to you after y'all done went through y'all trials and tribulations, right?
Okay.
That woman becomes submissive to you. That means that's her last leg, and she trying to do everything she could do because she trying to make sure she wasn't the problem.
You saying women that do that? So she get to a point where she's submissive to the man, and things ain't going right, or things still like not perfect, or something, whatever is bothering her just don't get fixed in a timely manner. You saying at that stage she's going to not say nothing, but she's going to be planning on leaving you because things ain't getting better, or at a state of cool in terms of we taking care of our kids, we taking care of our household, we making sure you doing all right for us, health and all these things, like the household is running smooth enough to where we progressing, but certain things ain't getting done in the household. You telling me once a woman get to a point where she feel like she doing all she can for us, being submissive to that man, and things just seem like to her they ain't improving, that she starts to plan 6 months in advance to leave that dude.
Exactly 6 months. I'm telling you, an estimated time. Between 3 to 6 months, that woman is planned out mentally. Because a woman can, just like you said, a man can be smashing outside of the household. A woman can be physically there, but not mentally there. Because once they done mentally, they're done. Yeah. And once they done mentally, they tend to fill themselves up with something else mentally. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a man outside of the household, but they not no longer paying you that much attention like they were. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying now? And so
I do get what you're saying. It don't make it right though.
If that same woman, but it's right, but she feel it's right for her. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing you got to understand, is that unless the underlying issue is addressed, y'all never gonna get to the bottom of it. You never gonna know what it was. I mean, women think with their feelings, right? So it could have been something like a man could have just did the smallest thing. But if they didn't reconcile that and it continue to happen, you understand what I'm saying? Then that's going to get to the point that the woman going to be like, dang, we already spoke on this, or I'm tired of this, or whatever the case may be. But like I said again, that could go both ways. But most men don't speak on small things. They'll speak on the bigger things. Facts.
Because we know our commitment is to the family in terms of longevity. Like when man says they love a woman and they have a family with that woman, that man is going to be willing to sacrifice his own happiness, his own time to try to make shit work. I mean, even if he got a toxic woman, like she disrespect him and, you know, don't show him proper love or appreciation and shit like that, he is still sit there and try to make that shit work. And you know what the crazy thing about all this is, it's fair on both sides. Like if you get to a point where you feel like you done did everything you can and this person is not willing to adjust things so that you are okay, then granted, I would, you know what I mean? But when it comes to marriage, when people get married, it was supposed to be for better or for worse. It's certain things, like we want to get biblical about it. There's only certain things that allow you to get divorced. Like it's only certain things that allow you to get divorced. And so women ain't divorcing majority of these men because he cheating or he's beating her. I would say it's probably a higher percent of women are just leaving because they unhappy or feeling unfulfilled. Like I know we all grow up and we change, things change in us, but it's not the man's job to make you happy. It's his job to add to your already happiness. So when women say stuff like, I lost myself in this relationship, did the man tell you not to be you? Did the man restrict you from doing the things you like to do? Like, how do you lose yourself? Just because you got responsibilities, those go come anyway. Okay. But if the man is not restricting you from being you, like when he met you, he liked you, so he thought about a relationship with you. Y'all eventually got into a relationship. Y'all eventually had kids, and he liked you then. And he ain't telling you like, you can't do this no more. You can't do that no more. You can't go here no more. He ain't restricting you from being the person you was before he met you. How can you then wake up and say,
you lost yourself?
Lost myself, when he ain't restrict you from being yourself?
Okay, so to double back on that, the restriction of, it's not necessarily that he's restricting you from being yourself. Most of the time when we meet people, they put on a camouflage or they pull the wool over your eyes. Let me get to that. That's something deep, huh? And when that individual, when you, not you per se, but when the other person starts to peel those layers back, it's not that they lost themselves. It's that they camouflage who they really were to get you in there. They were never being themselves. They say, you know, man, they say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. You can't turn no nigga into no man.
Whoa, let's talk about that. That's
the truth. Like you can't because it's a big difference. You know, it's a big difference. You cannot, because that wool, that person is going to be who they are regardless. You know, you understand what I'm saying?
Eventually,
you can meet somebody and be with somebody for years and not know who they are until they are ready for you to know who they are. Unless you knew that person prior and beforehand. Because the person is only going to let you see what they want you to see. So,
I mean, that's blooded though. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily that they losing themselves. And to dive a little deeper into that, like when a woman say, I lost myself, it could be because they're used to, and it's not on you. It could be because they're used to getting their hair done or their nails done or just walking around here looking real cute and stuff. But they drained, they tired, they don't understand that they want the idea of having a husband. You understand what I'm saying? They want the idea of having kids. They want the idea of having that white picket fence. They want the idea of all these things, but they don't want to work for it. And working for it, they feel like they losing themselves because they're not able to cater to just them anymore. They have to make the same sacrifices that their significant other make. And most women don't want that. Most women want a man that's going to take care of them because that's what they used to. You get women out here who are willing to help with their man, who willing to meet 50, 30, whatever percentage y'all come up in and agree with. But by the time you meet that type of man, they probably tired because they burnt out from the person previous to you. So when a woman say that they losing themselves, it that could be one of the things too. I could give you a prime example of myself. I didn't lose myself, but I felt like I was losing myself. But it wasn't because of the person that I'm with, because he actually sitting right here with me. He can hear y'all. He gonna tune in a second. It wasn't because of that. You understand what I'm saying? It was because I used to read books. I don't read that much no more. That's not his fault. You understand? I used to work out a lot. I work out a little bit now. That's me losing a part of who I am. You know, I like family time. It's not that. It's that the time, your time is consumed more. And women don't understand that. It's not the glass picket house like they want it to be. They think about these fantasies and what they want, but they want the prize, but they don't want to put the legwork in. And I'm not saying that's all women, because you have some men that are the same way.
True.
So it's not just women, but I understand where y'all coming from. And we all know that most women are not willing to do the legwork. But then to dive deep on that, you got men out here who got women that'll be with them, support them, be behind them when they broke and they ain't got nothing. But then you turn around and you go give it to somebody else. So, some men got to understand, and women got to understand at this age, that a damaged man is gonna damage that woman, even if she wasn't damaged before. That's a part of losing who you are. Do y'all understand what I'm saying with that?
Yeah,
a damaged man. Go ahead, Deontay.
She cooking. She is definitely cooking, and that's why I brought her up here to get a female perspective on this.
Well, what you just said, as far as a damaged man can damage a healthy female, I would say in that situation, that's a possibility. However, if that man is telling you his issues or what's going on with him, like, you got to vet that man. Just like a man needs to vet a woman properly, women got to start vetting men better too. Like, don't ignore the red flags. Don't ignore the things he say and his actions ain't adding up to what he's saying. Or, you know what I mean? So, but if a man comes to you and tell you, like, I got trust issues, I got issues with this and that, but I want to get better. You know what I mean? If a man come to you telling you his issues and he want to work, he want to get in a relationship with you, and he aware of his issues, and he take the time to think when a trigger happens for him that not necessarily that you caused, but it's just in his history. And say something comes up that triggers him. As long as that man can catch himself and not put that trigger on you, you know what I mean, and not be using that against you because of his burdens, or the same with a female. As long as a female can catch herself and the way a man treated her in the past, and you do something that looks similar or feels similar, and she uses that as like a scapegoat, because that's all it is at this point in time. When we use our triggers and our traumas in new relationships, all that is a scapegoat. You really don't want to be with that person. You just need to be honest with yourself, because when people really want to be with people, they have more compassion to have conversations and help that person through their trauma. Like, it's nothing wrong helping somebody through their trauma if they got issues. If you care about them enough and you patient with them, there's nothing wrong helping somebody with whatever trauma they got. If you see the good in them and you know what they can be. I ain't telling you to sit there 3, 4, 5 years trying to help a motherfucker get through a trauma. Nothing like that. But if you can see progress, you can see them catching themselves without you having to say nothing, you know what I mean? That's somebody you can work with. But if a motherfucker they self and they just use all the trauma that they grew up with and they use it in your relationship against you when you ain't that person that triggered them, because y'all gotta be mindful of this. Like, all relationships are the same. Motherfuckers get together and try to make a life together. So you go hit some of the same roadblocks in all relationships. So people need to start making like relationships are so different. No, you got trauma from your past. Now, she got trauma from her past too. Most of the people at our age, we all got some form of trauma. It is what it is. Let's just be honest about it. Everybody got some form of trauma. It's all about that person knowing their trauma, being willing to recognize their trauma and work through that, and also having somebody with the patience to work with them through it, just like you need to have patience to work with hers through hers. But you got to be aware of it. That's the problem. Yeah. A lot of people don't be aware of their shit, and they think they shit don't stink, and they can move how they want to move. And that's where it really be coming down to. Like, people don't even know, like, if you ask somebody, like, shit, for real, ask a female, like, what do you like? Or what can, like, sometimes females don't even have a response if you was to just simply ask them what it is that you would like for me to do for you to make you feel better. Some females don't even be having like an answer for that. They tell you, won't you look it up? Won't you figure it out? Won't you?
What do you understand why
bullshit.
they wouldn't have an answer?
Why wouldn't they have an answer?
Because they may have never been asked something like that. That's just like with a man. Some men have never ran into a woman that's patient enough to work with them through their traumas.
True. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And that's rare. That that's the same thing with a woman. Some women may be out here, but they may be a virgin, and I use that word because they may not have had an individual ever cross their path. It goes back to the daddies again. They may not have had a father or a father figure to teach them. So when they're asking you these things, y'all are supposed to be each other teachers as well as growing with each other. And I was gonna say, James saying right here, Brian, you met James. Deontay, this is James. This is my other person.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, brother.
He said, "Nice to meet you."
Hey, how's it going?
He's a little older than us.
Going pretty good.
He definitely could put some perspective from a man's point of view.
Yeah, I like to talk to him.
Here you go.
All right, what's going on with it?
What's going on, my brother?
You know, a lot of what you guys are saying, there's a lot of validity there.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest misunderstanding in most relationships is when a man or a woman is telling you exactly what they want, and then the other person is not receptive of it. They think that they can change the way that a person came into the relationship. Mm-hmm. When P and D meet, different things started to happen. You know what I'm saying? P and D got power of its own.
Yeah. So
if a woman says, I really don't want a relationship, I just want to hang out, you know, we just have a friends with benefits type thing, then all of a sudden the man catch feelings, or vice versa. The man say, you know, I don't want a real relationship right now. You know, I've been through a lot and I just want to chill. And P and D meet each other. Then all of a sudden the woman catch feelings and she's saying, you know, well, I can change him. You know what I'm saying? And then when it get down the line, now all of a sudden, well, I thought you were going to change. You know, I thought that this would happen or that would happen, where it wasn't a clear communication.
No, it was clear communication if you told them you ain't want a relationship in the beginning. No, that's clear. There's no.
That's what I just said. Yeah. The other person wasn't listening. They thought that they changed them. Yeah. So that's where most of the problems come in at.
Right.
It's about being equally yoked. Like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I plan on doing. There's not enough communication in the beginning. You know, some people just run off the muscle where they just get caught up in their feelings in the end, you know?
I mean, that's very true. I mean, but see, the thing about that, though, and that dynamic is, I would say, personally, I believe women are the ones who are more of a culprit for that, because they attach their emotions to who they allow in their body. As men, we can get away with that a little bit better than women can, because, you know, we can have physical contact with a female and not catch any feelings for them.
Right.
It's harder for women to do that because they have to actually like you in order for you to enter them. Like, women value that part. Don't get me wrong, we value it too. It's just we got this testosterone flowing through us 24/7. Like, it's going somewhere eventually. You know what I mean? So that's why we can up and move a little bit easier when it comes to physical contact than women can, because women actually got to get to know you, actually like you, before they even think about letting you, you know, enter them and all that type of stuff. But back to what we talking about, though, for us, when women leave a relationship, it's like, I have trouble understanding the concept when you got a family. It's one thing if it's just you and a man and you decide to call it break, because it ain't impacting nobody else. But when you got young kids, or you got any kids, I mean, y'all separate impacts those kids regardless of what either one of y'all say. It's a fact. Now, it's one thing if a man is beating his woman, a repetitive cheater, or vice versa, a woman toxic, calling a man out his name, and like it's just unbearable to be with each other. But if it's small things that y'all can work through, I personally feel like we need to be having those relationships our grandparents had where they struggled together and kept their families together. You best believe grandma and granddad had issues too with each other, but they were strong enough. Those relationships were strong enough to withstand issues and work through them for the betterment of the entire family, not just for self. It's like we don't have that sacrifice. Women don't have that sacrifice like grandma did, where her happiness is not gleaned from outside sources. Her happiness is gleaned from her seeing that what she does for her family produces smiles. She produces within her household. That's where she gleaned her happiness from. But with all this social media shit now, you know, everybody's seeing these other relationships and how women being treated by dudes with more money and taking trips and, you know, buying this and buying that. A lot of women envy that shit. I mean, it is what it is. But we men, I don't think we really envy that, because at the end of the day, we know it's coming out of our pocket. Like, so it's like, it's all good. It look good on paper, it look good on the camera. But you know what I mean, that's not the reality. Like, that's at the core of this whole thing is like, we don't struggle for our love no more. Soon as we hit a hard spot, it's like, let's separate. Struggle love.
Yeah, you mean they don't.
Good.
Or you meaning that they don't fight for their relationships no more? They rather just at the first sign of trouble just get up and leave.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying. They don't want to do. Most women don't want to do the leg work, but they want the trophy. They want the top prize of it. So that goes back to saying again, though, a lot of women who are damaged themselves, they quick to run from something like that because they probably already did it. Because I tell you what I say out my mouth all the time. And y'all know I have daughters. I say this ain't no damn build a nigga workshop, because I've talked and I have been friends and I have been present with so many different men to help them out. And when you help somebody out, you help them out of the kindness of your heart. But as far as a past relationship, I've been in a past relationship before. So whereas I've stuck by somebody when they didn't have nothing, but rock bottom nothing. And when they got it and we did that together, they took it and they went to the person they always wanted. And see, that's a red flag that people need to identify, men and women up front.
Men and women, for sure.
One thing I've learned myself about a man, to be honest, this is my opinion, is that a man will sit there and keep a woman as a placeholder until he can get that woman that he actually wants, because he ain't gonna step to that woman that he want without shit, because he knows that she is not going to accept that. And that's vice versa. A woman will stick with a man that ain't got nothing, and they will go to that other man that probably ain't got nothing either. But if that other man they really won't get on their feet, they gonna fly the damn coop, I'm telling you. Because I've watched it happen with so many people.
Quick question, Lena.
And they not looking back. They don't care how it's affecting you.
Right. Quick question.
They're no longer with you, so why do they care how it affects you? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I do.
Quick question, Lena. Quick question, Lena. What's your thoughts on women who co-sign behavior like this? Like, part of the sisterhood is what they do is they like to back this kind of behavior. Like when a woman wakes up and say, yeah, I don't want this relationship no more, I would see a lot of women standing behind that woman, pushing her to leave her husband and leave that perfect setup. I want to
be honest with you.
Yeah.
Those type of women envy that woman. They want them to walk away from what they got because they want it. That's why.
That's crazy. Like, because man, we ain't doing that. We ain't telling man to leave their wife and families. We don't do that.
But guess what though? A woman is going to know that here, babe. A woman is going to know that. A young-minded lady is not going to know that nor understand that, because they not thinking outside of the box. Because number one, if you sitting here telling your girlfriend or your friend all your business, but they from the outside looking in, because remember, we talking about a man, right? And so a man gonna take care of their household, right? So they don't know what's going on inside your household unless you running your mouth to them, right?
Right.
So all they see is the good stuff. They see this man being a provider, what a woman wants. They see you with this white picket fence, what a woman wants. They see you have dinner, they see you this, they see all the good stuff. They don't know the back end of it, right? And
That's
so
right.
them the same women that'll pick up the phone and call your man. You want to come over here and hit this? Because I know y'all going through it. I mean, you a witness to this? He nodding his head over here, yes,
100%.
because he done been through this before. Not with me, but his previous wife. They done been through stuff like this
It's the
before.
pillow talk.
They gonna pillow talk. They're going to manipulate your woman's situation so that they can come into the situation next. And they the ones who are willing to be there and sit in your face, but still do your man behind your back. And that's
crazy,
the truth.
though.
It ain't no ands, ifs, or buts
Crazy,
about
though.
that.
I mean, but as man, then how can you actually maneuver like that? Because don't get me wrong, like I ain't saying all men are perfect or all men are good, but when we actually got responsibilities to a household, we take those serious. Like I said, we would sacrifice our own shit, because you best believe when we talk about our sisters, we know a lot of our sisters, not all of them, but a lot of our sisters been raised in single parent homes, and one of the biggest things that come out of that household with women is back talking, fast mouth, slick mouth, cut people with words. They just, you know what I mean? They that's just one of those traits that come out of single family homes, especially with girls. And you know what I mean, especially in like the environment we grow up in, you got to be strong. You got to, you know what I mean? It's just a part of it. So man be dealing with a lot of that type of stuff inside the house and don't even complain to like the outside world about it. And, you know, they probably got their family and stuff like that, but they still won't leave. They would still try, well, I know she, you know what I mean, but it'll work out, you know, and they still try to sit there, especially when you got kids. Like, I don't know how it is for y'all, but for me, when you got kids, it's just hard knowing how the world works, how hard it is for a woman to take care of kids by herself. And financially, I mean, even on the financial piece of that. And not only that, we know that kids come, like when a family can work it out and a mother and father is in the house, kids have a better chance in this world because they get both perspective every day. Not like I go to my daddy house next weekend, don't see them for a whole week. When kids get to see the perspective every day, even when y'all struggling with y'all little communication or whatever, they get to see how y'all resolve that. I mean, that's a healthy thing too. Now, it ain't like I'm saying you got to be in the house arguing every day and this and that. And some people be trying to make it seem like that's how relationships really be, like you in the house arguing every motherfucking day. Nah, you might argue every once in a now and then, but you ain't in the house arguing every day. I just don't buy that. But if you do got one of those type of situations, then that's a different story. However, my whole point is, though, with kids, though, when you have a family and you got kids, their consideration should have more value than what it currently does with women. Because women just think they can leave their kids' fathers and go out here and do better on their own, or somebody out here is going to be willing to take that plate. Because men are waking up to not being stepdads. And that's what women ain't realizing. Men are waking up like, why am I going to go here and pay to support another man's family? Like, that's what women need to start realizing. Like, they need to realize men are waking up to the whole plight of being a stepdad. Not saying that man ain't doing it, because it is man still out here doing it. But you got to think about that. I'm going to take all my resources to support somebody else already made family when I can support my own family. And I think that's probably why the dynamic's so different, because men are expected to provide for the household. So that's probably why the dynamic is so different in leaving. Because
let me interject on that for a second. Now, being in a two-parent household, going back to what you said earlier, where Big Mama was able to, you know, kind of deal with whatever situation it was to try to make the family work, and the younger generation is not doing that. Also, men need to know when it's time to step away and not stay in there so long. Because even like in my previous relationship, you know, I had a 25-year marriage, and I planned my escape like 12 years before I even left. because I was waiting on what I felt for God to say that I had a release to be able to leave. Because I tried to stay there for my kids so that, you know, I couldn't be that father that say, well, if I was there, this wouldn't have happened to my child.
Facts.
At the same time, like you said, men are more devoted in the area of trying to be there for the family's sake. But a lot of times that does more damage, because in some cases, like in my case, father becomes the villain. You know what I'm saying? Mama tells the father that the kids are doing this, that, and the other, and the father comes home and he's laying down the law, making sure they follow what mother says. But then mother behind the back of the father is saying, you know, your dad always this, your dad always that. You know, instead of being the villain, you need to learn how to step out and allow that mother to do whatever the hell she want to do, and y'all try to come together on separate paths to equally, you know, parent.
Yeah, but like you just said though, you stuck it out shit almost 13 years in the hope that that will resolve itself. You know what I mean? And that's all I'm saying. Women ain't about to be unhappy or not feel appreciated for 13 years. They ain't doing that shit. You get 6 months, bro. You get 6 months to a year, but eventually, like what it is for real that goes with this is the fact that women feel they got so many options because when they go on their social media accounts looking at all these dudes liking their pictures and this and that, they get somewhat inflated egos thinking they can just go out there and find somebody that can replace what you do. They start looking at the shit that you do, especially if you're one of those providers, even if you just provide 75% of all household bills. I mean, that's still a good clip. She only provide 25%. However, when the excitement, like I said, it comes to that stability thing again. Once you actually get your family stable and y'all got a routine, that gets boring to women. And they need, it's almost like they have a need for some form of excitement in order to stay present in a relationship long term. And I mean, and that's just what it is. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with that. As man, we just need to understand that, like, if we want to keep our women long term, we have to find ways to keep them engaged. Like, whatever it is she like to do that brings her, like, if she one of those women that like to, you know, go to the park and read a book, whatever. However, we got to figure out as men how to keep our wives content with their relationships, because once we get to, because as man, we could be content watching goddamn football on the weekend, and that's just be our weekends. We perfectly fine with that. That ain't gonna go for women though. Women, nah. Hey, all right, we can do that every other weekend. But
so we got about 5 minutes to wrap this up. What's the conclusion for all this? I'm gonna let y'all take this. I'm about to go off the mic, but I'm gonna let y'all wrap this up for me and let me know what's the happy medium for all this. Where do we come up with a solution for this?
Can you repeat that, Tay?
Yeah, I said I want to know, because we about to wrap this up in about 5 minutes. I want to know what's the conclusion for all this. How do we find a happy medium to where nobody's getting caught off guard, nobody's feeling unhappy, nobody's feeling shortchanged, and nobody's in their feelings about I'm not getting this, I'm not getting that, I'm not being fulfilled. How do we find a happy medium? How do we find that place where the feelings are staying, you know, like the fire staying lit, you know what I'm saying? And nobody's feeling like we got to lead up a relationship and destroy the family dynamic because somebody ain't getting fulfilled.
The biggest thing about all of that is if you don't have communication, you really have nothing. If nobody is saying anything when they feeling offended or feeling like they're being taken advantage of or being mistreated, you can't get nowhere. Right. Because one thing becomes another, then another becomes hostility, then hostility becomes it's time to pack the bags.
Yep, resentment. Hey, I think that's it right there for real communication. Like, and being receptive of each other's emotional needs. It is what it is. Because women, they don't really be receptive to man's emotional needs. Like you know how it goes when a man be vulnerable, expressing his feelings. from the way it looks in the world, that makes a man weak when he expressive about emotions. So just find you a woman that actually want to hear how you feel, because she wants to be willing to help and willing to make changes so that you feel better about whatever is going on. Just find you a good woman that you can be vulnerable to.
Yeah,
But-
James.
Vice
I was
versa women.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say,
James-
let me tap
Go
in on that too.
yeah.
So what he said is true, you know, but that go both ways, because as a now this me speaking as on a woman's standpoint, communication is one of the biggest things. But most women think with their emotions all the time. Like you said, the fire gotta stay lit. If that means that you gotta tell her, baby, you look good today, I don't care if she ugly. Don't tell her she look good. You understand what I'm saying? Because women like to hear that. Because if we walking down the street, I'm gonna tell you this: I could walk down the street with him and say we both can look at a girl and be like she pretty, because beauty is going to attract. But that's the type of open relationship you want to have with your woman. You want to make your woman so secure within herself that she don't have to worry about if you turn your head to look at another woman, because you're not going nowhere. And if you don't have that security with her, then y'all ain't got that security. It is what it is. That's being honest. Because that means that you're not doing your job as a man. So you got to step back and you got to ask her, if she not talking to you, you have to sit back and you have to ask her, what are your needs that need to be met from me as a man? And it's vice versa. A woman has to understand that a man has needs, and those needs are to be met no matter how y'all feel about each other. You might be mad at this man. She might be mad at you. That don't mean that you stop your man duties, because you're going to continue to take care of the household financially, right? So that woman has to understand that they still got a duty to maintain as his woman, because guarantee you, if she ain't going to do it, the next woman going to do it, especially if she been running her mouth. And that's the truth, you know. So the hard medium in there is just communication, and understanding. But you cannot pour water or anything into a cup that has a leak in it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you don't fix that hole, then it's gonna continue to leak, and then the hole gonna get bigger until the cup gonna fall. And if you walk in the door, and that's a whole different thing we talk about later. If you don't got no solid foundation, you cannot build on that foundation, because anything you try to build is going to sink. It doesn't matter what it is.
I like it. I agree with that.
Indeed. Well, we got 216 people in the building. Make sure everybody is liking, subscribing to my channel, subscribe to Merge Vision's channel. And I appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, same time. I appreciate y'all, Lena and James, for giving us y'all insight. Y'all are always welcome back to the show. If y'all want to share this, it'd be much appreciated. And I appreciate you for coming up, giving your woman's perspective on this.
No doubt.
All right now.
All right, y'all. Have
All right,
a
now,
good one.
James, I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Be
All right,
blessed.
y'all.
All right, I'm out. Peace.
All right. Peace.